Hello, buddy. This is Purge bringing you guys a replay coaching. Signed up here by Dazzle. Dazzle is a 2300 MMR player. Things to focus on during the replay. Overall play, any tips you can provide would be greatly helpful. Well, that's easy to do. And we got 2 replays to take a look at. So, when you are playing Dazzle as a 5 position, what I typically find is that I think the hero's a little bit weak as a 5 generally. And I am generally a little hesitant just to pick the hero in the first place because of Dazzle's skill set. Dazzle is a pretty decent hero. You've got okay damage. Your armor's pretty decent for a ranged hero. Your movement speed's quite good compared to a lot of ranged heroes. And but the downside is that your skill set doesn't scale extremely well. It really helps towards... it's good at winning lanes a little bit. It's like pretty good at winning lanes. You're good at helping your safe lane hero go farther in the lane. That's all really good. And then obviously Grave can be really effective, but the problem is that you don't have very good offensive potential is the biggest negative. You do raw damage between Shadow Wave and Poison Touch, but they're not stuns. The slow's really weak, so you don't have good disable. You can't gank very easily as a result. It really helps to have disables because those kind of like make you effective at ganking all types of heroes. And from there, like Grave can be very useful, but it's not always going to swing fights in a big way. It helps to have like a frontline hero that can take the pressure. Therefore, your heals do better. And Grave can usually save them, and they can ideally disengage and still be effective in fights. So I generally don't like picking Dazzle as a support because I prefer to put him in a lane where him winning the lane is going to mean a lot. So I like playing him in off-lane roles, either a 3 or a 4, because then you can dominate the lane ideally, pressure the carry, and that makes the carry's game much, much worse. And then you can transition that by winning that lane, then going over maybe winning mid, and then pushing, basically becoming like a pseudo-sustained pusher kind of hero. I think is the best way Dazzle works. So we'll see if you can make this work as a 5. I don't like the fact that you skilled your skill point right away. I think that's a mistake because you never know, you might want to heal instead. Poison Touch is typically the better harass skill by all means, but it's not incredible because it has a super long cooldown. It is nice that you hit both heroes here because that means you guys are going to be able to do a lot of damage to both of these guys. So I like that aspect. They're both taking like insane Poison Touch damage. In fact, this should be a kill. So you guys have just done so much damage. I'm sure his Poison Touch is gone. Yep, and you guys end up getting a first blood. I really like that your Poison Touch hit 2 people there. That was nice. I know that you tried to make that work. And then the fact that you guys both attack separate targets let you refresh and do a lot of damage. So overall, a very good beginning to the lane. In terms of starting items, I don't know if you bought... It feels like you have more items than I expect you to have. But I guess you just bought 2 sets of tangos, gave 1 to your mid is what happened. Then you have 2 mangoes, 2 iron branches, and a clarity. I'm relatively happy with this item selection, just because it gives you about a little bit of everything, basically. It's maybe a little bit weak on regen, raw regen itself, but I guess between Shadow Wave, you should be fine anyway. So having 2 mangoes and just 1 clarity, I really like, and I like the 2 iron branches. Very happy with how this started. What I don't like in the slightest is you got first blood, which is great, but what you did with it right away is you jacked the courier. And this is probably the worst thing that you can do in the safe lane of the game, is to instantly purchase a fucking magic wand and take the courier. Because what actually needs to happen is the mid player needs the courier. The mid player needs to complete their wraith bands, their null talismans, whatever they're building, and that's going to help them be more competitive mid. But when you take the courier this early for something as useless relatively as a magic wand, you're taking the courier and it's going to run all the way to the top. And if you look at the map, that's like the longest distance you can possibly run. The mid lane is significantly shorter. It's probably like, I don't know, 60% of the distance of going to top lane. So if you run the courier all the way to top and back, like let's watch the courier really quick. 36, let's see how long this takes. You just took the courier off of the map for an entire minute of the beginning of the game. And let's see where your TA is at this point. All right, your TA sucks, and she's only got 300 gold. But if you're playing in a higher level game, you cannot do this. Yes, you've completed your magic wand, and that looks great and all because your item slots were full, and you're like, oh, I'm going to save item slot space. It doesn't matter. Throw an ironwood branch into your backpack. Go over here, pick up a magic stick. That's what you should be doing. You should not be rushing magic wand. This is one of the worst things you can do with the first, like, you had 350 gold. Imagine how different your game would be if you got a fast boots, or if you got a magic stick and then a fast boots. That is so much better way to start with your beginning gold, because this doesn't actually make your hero better. It gives you spent 350 gold to get +1 stats, which happened. You got more item slots, which is kind of good, but you don't have the money to buy stuff. And it allows you for your magic stick to go from 10 charges to 20, but you're never going to get it to 20 charges in this lane anyways. So like, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Buy the magic stick, do not buy the magic wand, and definitely don't jack the courier. It's not good to do. This is like game losing for mid players at higher MMRs, so get out of the habit right away. Save your money, buy from the side shop until like Flying Courier comes out basically. Or wait until either you or Legion die, and then you can respawn and one of you guys can bring the items. That's what you should be doing instead. So let's go back and watch the laning stage now. This is when you guys got all your damage in, which was great. You're heading back. You also brought out a mango as well, which is probably not needed. I don't think you needed that mango. You've got 2 mangoes here, and you have a clarity. You don't need that much raw mana regen. I think it would be better for you to save the 70 gold, get towards your boots a little bit faster. Alright, now we're coming back to the lane. I don't know why Legion is playing like this. He should be getting last hits. I don't know why you used your mango here. That's not needed at all. This gives you passive HP regen. I'm going to guess it was maybe a mistake. Yeah, that looks like it was a mistake, actually. I'll let that one slide. So, like, what you guys are basically doing is kind of like all-inning to go do harass, but that's not really what should be happening. What should be happening is that the lane resets and you guys settle into this position where it's about getting last hits and denies. And this is mostly Legion's fault, not yours. Legion should be in this lane getting every last hit and deny, and instead it ends up being you. And you're also being pressured by both heroes. That's because you were the only hero in the lane. Legion was hiding at the time, and now he's going to go harass the Zeus. This is a reflection, or this is a reverse of what should be happening. You should be the guy that's basically harassing while Legion gets last hits, and occasionally Legion will come forward and try to harass. But he shouldn't be trying to like all in for these kills like this. This is a waste of time, effectively. It's good that you did some damage here, and poison touch is fine and all, but like this is the issue with the skill, is that in moments like this where there's a big creep wave, the skill ends up not being very effective. Again, Legion is definitely wasting his time over here, which is unfortunate. He should be focusing on last hits instead, but if he doesn't, then you need to be the guy that gets the last hits on the other end. Here's your magic wand, and now you power eat tangos while you get healed, which is the right thing to do. Legion is finally going for last hits, which is solid. This is a really good time to poison touch. I like this. Alright, very good kill there. Feels great. Keep popping tangos. Now creep wave is really pushed at this point. You've got 3 range creeps stacking up. This lane is going to push. That means you should instantly go back and pull. You've missed this opportunity now, not paying attention. You could use your clarity while doing this. Start the pull. If you can connect. And I think in this circumstance you could have connected because you had such a huge wave down here that connecting the pull would have been really effective. But in the meantime, you've effectively done nothing to further your guys' benefits in this lane. All you've done basically is stand here. This poison, or this shadow wave, let's see how effective it is. He actually still got the last hit, surprisingly. You're probably trying to mess that up for him, which is not a bad attempt, but look where the creep wave is. Still very pushed up. You should be going back to pull. Should have attempted this by now. If you don't separate yourself from the lane, what ends up happening is your allies don't actually get that far ahead. You guys have kill advantage, but the Legion could be hitting level 3 easily if you had just gone back and pulled. And it's not as much experience for you, but it's more experience for you and Legion put together combined. He's going to lane just fine here when the creep wave is pushed up like this, because he's a pretty fast hero. He has a boots advantage, and if they try to dive him or fight him, you guys generally have more creep advantage because your lane was pushing. So basically you just need to go back and pull is pretty much for the 15th time or whatever, because really you're not doing much here. All you're accomplishing by standing here is making it so that they definitely don't go on Legion, which is not a bad thing, but it's not that much advantage. He can take a little bit of harass and pop a tango or 2 while you go back and pull, because that's going to deny creeps here. That's going to mean that these guys get less levels as a whole. Night Stalker's died twice, but he probably has more net worth than you guys, or at least it's close. Look, he's only 100 behind your Legion, even though he's died twice, because he's actually gotten last hits, unlike Legion, and he's also a higher level than Legion partially because Zeus left briefly, but also because you guys haven't done any pulling yet. So that's all not good, and has made your guys' lane harder. Eat your last tango, you're missing regen. Again, you're still playing the same role that you were briefly ago where I was criticizing you. You're basically sitting in lane and you're thinking that your only way to play this lane is to be, I'm going to stand in lane, make sure my guy can do well, deny creeps if there's opportunities, and occasionally cast spells. That's generally correct, but occasionally you need to go back and pull because this is 100 experience. That would pop you into your level 3 really easily, and your Legion would be fine in the meantime, and it would deny creeps and overall make your guys' lane be more one. Because that is the Dota. A lot of Dota right now is about lane advantage, and lane advantage doesn't just come from getting kills. It comes from getting kills by guaranteeing, like, you basically want to get to a point where you have overwhelming advantage that every time they come to your lane or contest last hits, that you guys can harass them for a huge amount of damage, which lowers them on regen. Then once they run out of regen, they basically can't lane anymore, because every time they come up, you guys do tons of damage, and you get to this huge advantage by having a gold advantage, which gives you items like boots so that you have a huge movement speed advantage. That way, every time they come up to last hit, you guys get a lot more right clicks as they're running away. That means you get a better trade. It comes in a level advantage, which gives you more damage, more ability to harass, more ability to lane sustain, more ability to chase them longer and deal more damage whenever you do use your spells. Those are all advantages that you get by pulling and stuff like that. That's interesting. I think the guy I made this for just emailed me. I'll take a look at that later. So those are all things that end up coming as a result of pulling. You're going to stack a camp, which is fine, but you could have pulled so many times on the small camp here. And the stacks are only really relevant if you have somebody that can clear them later. Legion is okay at clearing, but again, what keeps happening is that another issue is that because your guys' lane has been pushed a couple times, sometimes because of the fact that you've used Shadow Wave, for example. If you use Shadow Wave, it does more damage to the creeps, it heals your creeps, you're going to end up pushing, and as a result, the creep wave is pretty consistently going to stand here, which means that now if you want to chase people with Poison Touch, it's even harder to do because the distance to safety is right here. The creep wave is in a really favorable position for these guys if they're losing. Legion's also aggroing the creep wave by standing your creeps and right-clicking enemy heroes. This pulls these creeps off, which means they do less damage, which means your creeps attack more, which pushes the lane. All of this is bad for you guys because it's not going to help you get any of these kills. And you keep running away from creeps, mostly Legion, to right-click Zeus 1 or 2 times, but who gives a shit, dude? He just lost 100 gold on the creep wave. 7 last hits versus 12 and 3. And at this point, Night Stalker's probably ahead in net worth. He's still not, but it's close. It's very, very close. Close enough where it just shouldn't be like that. If Legion is standing back here like an idiot, you should get these last hits, because he's not going to. So if there are opportunities to get last hits, go for it. You have gotten some denies, which is good. Range creep. Make sure you secure these. Use Shadow Wave on creeps when range creeps are about to die. If range creeps get denied, that's a lot less experience for you and your ally in your lane. And getting the last hit, again, that's gold on the table that's wasted. You have 0 last hits right now. If I was playing Dazzle in this game, I would probably have at least 10 last hits, because a lot of times Legion Commander was not doing a good job to grab the last hits. Like the dual lanes are about this equilibrium thing, but if this guy's running around and right-clicking a Zeus, I'm going to take those last hits, because that's a lot of gold that you can spend on a faster boots, for example. But all of these creeps that have died, between you and Legion together, you guys have a total of 7 last hits, and if we look at the other side, this guy's got 16. But in reality, there's been, what, 8 creeps per minute? 8, 16, 24 creeps total in this creep wave, and that and then we'll add another 8. I'm sorry, another 4. 8, 16, 24, 28. 28 creeps have died in this creep wave so far, I believe, if I'm not doing my math wrong. Well, this is probably the other one. 24 creeps, and you guys have only gotten 7 of them. That is so much gold on the table. You guys have gotten the experience, but you haven't gotten the gold. And all this time, you could be pulling. Again, you're stacking the large camp, which is fine. That's only if it gets cleared. And a lot of times, stacking the large camp this much is kind of dangerous anyways. Because of dual lanes, it's very easy for them to know that it's there, to contest it, that kind of a thing. This whole time, could have been pulling. Now, if I had to guess, based on your MMR, 2300 is not that bad at all. You probably cast your spells well. You probably play your role generally correct. But the fact that you're that decent MMR and you're not pulling means that here's a really easy way to jump your MMR up by at least 100 or 200 points, is to remember to pull whenever you have an opportunity. I definitely forget sometimes. I get there late sometimes and mess up my pulls, but you should have done at least 2 pulls, 3 pulls so far this game, and that's about 200 or 300 more experience you would have in your pocket. You'd probably be level 4, and your Legion Commander would be level 4 right now, at least. And these guys would have a little bit less experience, and that's a huge advantage that you can have with your gold advantage. You're basically doing the right thing to bully these guys a lot. But you're not super compounding your advantage because you are not getting last hits. This Night Stalker is literally just dumpstering you guys in terms of last hits. Look at this. His net worth is literally the same as the Legion Commanders, because your Legion is not last hitting and you are not last hitting. If you were last hitting better and had, like, I don't know, 1500 net worth right now, or 1400 net worth, I would feel way less bad about this. But this is definitely one of those moments where you need to take advantage of this. That was good. Good turn there. Okay, cool. Ooh, you gotta be careful here. Okay, cool. You got that kill. Picked up your heal just in time, but unfortunately was not able to cast it, which is fine. This guy going for bounty runes is great. Make sure you ask your guy, do you want me to bring any items? You could have brought something for him, probably. You TP'd back to lane. I think you bought more mangoes here, which is absolutely not worth it. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, you bought 3 mangoes and 2 clarities. This is crazy, dude. Look at your money. You've got 300 past your boots of speed, which means that you are 500 gold away about from getting your energy booster. And instead, what do? You spend all of it on consumable regen. That's going to run out. Do you need this much regen? Do you need mangoes especially? Mangoes are not an efficient way to get a lot of mana on your hero, to be honest. Clarities are very good. This is 4.5 times 50 seconds. So that's 45 times 5. So it is like 235 mana or something like I got to do the math. I got to make sure this is right. 45 times 5. 225. All right, 225 mana for 50 gold. This is 125 mana for 70 gold. That's a bad ratio. It means you're getting a little bit less than 2 mana per gold for the mango. And for the clarity, if we divide by 50, you're getting 4.5 mana per gold. Clarities are way better in terms of mana. I am comfortable with you buying a clarity potion to come back into this lane because all you had was magic raw and brown boots. Definitely bring a clarity potion, but you do not need 3 enchanted mangoes. That's insane. That's a huge waste of money. Because Dazzle's an int hero anyways. You have really good int gain. Your mana pool, it's not like your spells are like extremely spammable and they won't be for a while. Getting like a clarity potion is fine because that's going to ensure that you basically get to your arcane boots at a reasonable time, in my opinion. Man, if only this guy had a second skill, he would actually be so much stronger. This is a good attempt to get a kill. Oh no, you canceled your animation. That's too bad. Like, look how much mana you're missing right now. It's really not that much. You could have probably pulled there before. You're going to stack again, which is fine. This guy really needed to press the attack. You guys definitely could have gotten a double kill, maybe, if you hadn't messed that one up. You had accidentally pulled, which is good. Still could go back and pull. 100 gold just on the table. Like, the fact that you guys are both still level 4 here is really bad. You're probably going to have slightly more levels doing this, like, stand in the lane constantly with your core than you would if you had pulled. But this guy's going to have way less levels as a result, is the big negative. You've now mangoed your TA, which is fine in this circumstance. Now you go in for the Zeus, which is good. Your attack moving there was really weak, though. Every time you attack, you got to move. You also didn't cancel your poison touch animation very well. As soon as you cast that, start spamming your right click on the ground to interrupt that animation. See how you're just standing still here? You attacked. You know he's going to be running away. And you want to make sure you get your poison touch repeatedly restacked. So you got to start moving. Attack, move a little bit. Attack, move a little bit. Instead, you're standing still because you're not thinking about it. And now he's at your max range. You could have hit this guy at least like 1 or 2 more times if you had attack move properly here. Now you lost your poison touch on this guy. Just going to make things just a little bit harder. Now you guys are going to back up again and resume laning. You gave him another mango and you clarity'd him, which is fine. I'm totally down with you giving him the clarity. I don't know if I would have mangoed, perhaps. Now, unfortunately, we're pulling through at the same time that he's trying to clear, so now this guy's going to try to sap experience. You can use poison touch. That only hits 4 things. It's not worth doing, in my opinion. And unfortunately, you're not even reapplying it. This is what you really need to do, is you needed to stand in here with all 3 heroes and do Shadow Wave on all the creeps. Like, this is the issue with the Tricam. Just, like, you guys killed them all, but you got some of the experience. I guess it's not a big deal because there were 3 of you, and you probably got a lot of gold from this, but could have been a little better. We're still only level 4 here. Used another Shadow Wave. I don't know if I like that one, to be honest, but again, pull the damn creeps. I'm very frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. And by the way, it's okay to just single pull. You do not need to pull through these days. That's because in a 2v2 situation, it's a lot harder to connect your pull. And also, it's easier if you try to connect your pull and 2 heroes roll over, it's really easy for you to die here. So if you just do single pulls, that's fine, because it's usually going to kill at least 1 creep, and it's going to help deny things. Or what you can do is stack your small camp, and then pull it through, and that'll kill a whole creep wave as well. So stacking your small camp is another good way to just blast and destroy creep waves, if you are into that kind of thing. That's something I do not do enough that I should be doing. There's the last hit you could have had. Legion Commander does not have 6 yet, of course, because you guys are a little under-leveled. Nice heal there, all fine. But again, once again, you guys getting kills is just not very realistic. Poison Touch, it is not a great ability. It's okay. It can be good, but generally I'm just not a huge fan. The cooldown's just so long too. I think you've probably casted your spells a little bit too much. By the way, that's part of the reason you're so out of mana, because you're not really casting your abilities at the right time. Like, for example, you poison touched that neutral camp. That wasn't really effective. You wasted 130 mana there. That would have been basically another mango. Part of the reason as well that you probably feel like you need to buy all this extra regen is because you're not doing efficient things to get yourself gold. And that's why it's taking longer to get an energy booster. Does that make sense? Like, yes, you would have saved like 200 or 300 gold not buying so many regen items, but if you would pull more, you'd be getting like 30, 40, 50 gold per pull, for example. And if you do that 2 or 3 more times, you'd have like 400 more gold and, well, a little bit, not that much, but you'd have a couple hundred more points of gold. And as a result, you'd be getting into your energy booster faster. If you would waste your mana a little bit less, you would have another 200 mana points or so. So that would also shave another like 45 seconds, minute off of needing to get mana regen items. So like your window of like, I'm out of mana and need to buy more mana, and I'm farming at a better speed will combine to get you your arcane boots at a faster pace without spending so much on consumables. That's why you probably feel like you need to buy mangoes and clarities in such a big amount. You didn't attack move very well here again. Let's take a look at it. See this? Standing still attacking. This guy is going to run away this direction because this is only safety. He's not going to run this way. He's not going to run this way probably. He's going to run this way. So as soon as you get to this position here, and Zeus is trying to all in on your Lich, you should know he's going to all in on Lich. I know where this guy's running, and you start attack moving, attack, move, attack, move, attack, move. Because by the time you cast your Poison Touch, he's already at max range basically, and that's almost completely up to your Legion Commander to finish that kill off. Just start fighting this guy. You got to heal. Wait till he's in melee range. Like here, if you would have... I don't think you're necessarily going to kill him. Maybe it was the right thing to run for your life, but if you did want to fight him in melee range, for example, wait till your Legion is standing next to him. Then you're doing double the damage with Shadow Wave than you would have otherwise. And once again, you're spamming Shadow Wave basically just to heal yourself, which is unfortunate, basically. Now you're running forward at the same time you have Arcanes, but it looks like you might be able to get a kill. You should have not Shadow Waved here before getting your Arcane Boots, because now that you pick them up, your raw mana is going to be lower. See how that 36 went to 53? That's because your total mana increased, but the percentage of mana you have remains the same. If you would have not casted that Shadow Wave and then picked up Arcane Boots, you would have had like 135 mana, and that 135 would have became like 180. So you would have gained an extra 50 mana there when picking up the Arcane Boots, but instead you only gained like 15 mana instead. Now you're going to move over, use Arcane Boots, so that's going to allow you to spam Shadow Wave more, which is great and all. This poor camp never pulled. I hope you drop your Arcane Boots when you use this. You don't really need anybody to come, you should just... Oh, you're stacking, cool. Ooh, you messed it up, that's too bad. Always backpack your Arcane Boots, or drop them on the floor when you do this. You could have gotten your mana much higher. You would have gained at least 100 or 200 more points of mana. You're bringing out more clarities. Like, the way that you're playing Dazzle is just, like, so mana hungry. And it's just because you're overcasting your spells a little bit and not necessarily using them in really good circumstances is what it feels like to me. Now they feel zoned because it's daytime. They don't feel comfortable. What do you do in the meantime? They're not coming up to the lane. What's a good way to spend your time? Pulling would be the way. Legion actually killed the creep wave finally, so that's not going to be doable. Oh, by the way, you also haven't bought or placed any observer wards yet this whole game. We're 10 minutes in, and it's pretty unacceptable. You basically need to... The easy way to do it basically is when it becomes nighttime, buy an observer ward, a single one, on your courier, and then drag that observer ward on your mid player, and then hold shift to create a shift command to send the courier home afterwards. So the courier will come mid, it'll drop a ward onto your core, your carry mid, and then the courier is going to go back. Then you can basically know that your mid player is going to have a ward in the mid lane during nighttime. And then you can bring out more wards to yourself later on as well, if needed. You're stacking the camp again, which is fine. Okay, good heal there as well. Good opportunity to get a pick off. That was solid. You could do a side pull as well. Side pulling is a little bit harder. I don't know what that nuke was about. This might be another case where you waste your mana, more or less. Yeah, I don't know what that one was about. He was basically full health, wasn't he? Was he missing a little bit? I guess he was missing a tiny bit. But I don't know if this is worth it. I would rather you use this heal when it's going to damage the Night Stalker, for example. Like right now. Heal him right now. You know how to do that. Use it then while Legion is capable of getting some harassing. I think that would have been a slightly better use of your time. Arcane's on him. You could once again go back and pull again, but you don't have that in your repertoire, unfortunately. Oh, nice. He will die. Cool. This ended up being a really good dive. Good dive as well there. And see what you do with your 7th skill point. I'm kind of curious. You get bad juju, which is going to lower your cooldowns a lot, make your abilities a lot better. What are you doing with your 7th skill point? What are you bringing out? Tome, a bracer, more mangoes. Bro, this is such a waste of gold. You were 13 minutes into the game. You got 2 clarity potions. What are you bringing mangoes for? You got arcane boots on cooldown, on lowered cooldown because of bad juju. You got clarities. You got a magic wand. Like you were losing mana because of small things. Like you didn't drop your arcane boots here in your backpack when you used shrine. You lost 150 mana. That was a mango right there. 70 gold wasted effectively because now you're bringing mangoes out to refill that. When you use your magic wand, drop your arcane boots on the ground really briefly. Use your magic wand. Pick up your arcane boots. You've gained yourself like 150 more mana. Those little things are the reason that you are spending more money on mana regen items. Looks like you got a Shadow Wave point, which I think is fine. Extra poison touch level. It was a good attempt on the pull. The side pull works better if you go this way to the left, generally. Oh, these damn mangoes. Get these last hits. Look at these free last hits. Your arcane boots are ready as well. You should be using these. Please, arcane boots. This is all wasted mana. Let's see how much mana you're wasting per time. Wow, is it really that much? So 160 every 40 seconds. Is that 4 per second? Should be. 4 per second. So every second that you don't use arcane boots, you're wasting 4 mana. Use your tome here. You got your level 8. Good heal to start things off. This looks very good. This guy's going to get blocked by creeps because he's making mistakes. Should be fighting this, I think. I would have probably kept hitting the Night Stalker myself, but I get that your Legion Commander is a bit of a coward here. Clarity's in. Start popping those babies. Oh, your side pull worked. Great. Generally, you want somebody to go to the creep wave. Now this has become a weird everyone fights for the stacked camp again moment. It's kind of bizarre, but here we are. I really want you to kill this Zeus. I would have maybe played on him more there. I don't think you needed to play this scared. Like, this guy is quite squishy, and you've got Grave now, which means you can basically buy yourself 5 more seconds. Night Stalker is a little scary, but he doesn't have his ultimate. So I would have, like, played up and kept hitting him. Like, if you reapply Poison Touch or something, for example, it's going to make things a lot simpler. Make sure these guys are standing together when you end up using your heal. Maxed out your Poison Touch. Personally, I think maxing Shadow Wave first is much better. 10 more mana per cast, but catches an extra heal. You can basically use it to push creep waves really quickly. Stand in a creep wave, cast Shadow Wave. Usually the whole enemy creep wave will die. Got Bounty Runes now. Once again, burning 100 mana just to heal your Legion for 100 HP. Which is okay, but not amazing. So the reason that all this pushing is kind of difficult is because you guys are not quite executing your spells super well. Like, you guys should just be like blink dueling some guy and killing him, and then pushing the creep wave, for example. Having a Basie would be kind of nice too, potentially. So it's going to help you guys push the creep wave. You guys should be with your wave here, so you could be doing a lot more damage to the tower, for example. If you keep your catapult alive, every hit does like a buttload of damage, 70 damage to the tower, so makes a big difference. Like, ignore their catapult, that doesn't matter as much. Okay, good, I'm glad you healed the creep wave. This is more or less perfect. There's the duel. Good heal. His duel was like way too early though. This guy kind of looks like he needs a grave to me, but let's see what happens. Oh, he blinked down. Okay, he's gonna be fine. 16 minutes in, and the laning stage has never ended, of course. Buying a Force Staff next, I like that. I'm a fan. That was a lot of lost mana, unfortunately. Pop them arcanes. There we go. Gotta save this guy. Good grave. He's just gonna die though, fortunately. So you guys kind of overstayed a little bit. I don't think it was wrong to grave him, but you guys were just gonna lose that fight. In terms of damage wise, magic damage. Game's a little bit scary, I would say, but like you guys kind of won your lane. Let's look at the net worth at this point. Night Stalker is behind the Legion, but not by like a massive amount. Your net worth is fine, but like the game is pretty much equal. It doesn't, like, pretty much everything that happened in laning stage doesn't really matter. You didn't really dumpster them in any way. You have more last hits now because Legion finally started hitting creeps, but the reality is that like you guys have barely touched the tower. You didn't really have a level advantage. He's level 11, he's level 10, Zeus is level 8 versus your level 10. So you have some level advantage, which is great and all, but like you guys didn't do really good, unfortunately. And you didn't take the tower, and you haven't rotated around anywhere else on the map. Mid tower's dead, which is kind of good, but you lost yours too. Like, the game is basically a wash. Everything that happened up until now is basically just equal. And that's mostly just because you guys haven't really coordinated super well with some of these moments. Like, you need to just get dual kills and push like crazy, basically. Like, pressure towers, that kind of a thing. Like, kind of what Night Stalker's doing here. He's, like, trying to scout to see where enemies are, and he's just bullying the tower. So, as a result, you guys' tower is dead, you know? And sort of as expected, you're going to go back to your lane. I don't really like this ward here. This one's very defensive. Once this ward spots them, they're already controlling this part of the map. I prefer to have a ward somewhere over here or somewhere over here because you kind of still want to try to control this area of the map if possible. At this stage in the game where you should be playing is down here because this tower is now dead. So this is the part where you would basically try to play around down here or here to try to like assist with ganks. But because Dazzle doesn't gank super well, it can also just work if you end up, you've now made this ward worthless, by the way, by placing this ward. This ward is now not useful anymore, so that's a waste. Should have moved here, placed this ward, and then taken the second one somewhere else. I have a feeling you're going to come up here and not necessarily know what to do with your time at this point. Jungling is an okay way to spend your time, but isn't necessarily good. Pushing this wave is ultimately good because you guys can take the tower at least. Yeah, just push this as fast as you can. You're doing the right thing, and now you guys are pressuring the tower. What you basically just did right now is kind of what you should have been doing the last 10 minutes. Poison touch. It's a good duel by him. Cool. This was great. Alright, and now that you have 2 kills, now you guys can invade deeper and go fight other places. This ward is looking kind of garbage. Alright, good theory, but terrible placement. If that was placed better, this would be a lot better. And then playing in this area is now possible once you kill that tower, if you have good ward vision. They have really good vision in the area, though, so you guys playing in this area is going to be really hard. And now he backs up and farms. What should you do? Now, you're probably still thinking, like, I should play around him. But the reality is that your guys' likelihood of getting a kill in this area is maybe not incredible. It is kind of nice for you to be close by, because if you do have vision, you could get a blink duel, for example. But I think your time is better spent going other places. Pushing in mid, pushing in bottom, and then playing in this area on the map would be better. And this is usually like a position where a carry, in this case I guess it's Legion Commander, he can basically farm all of this and push out the wave, occasionally get dual kills if you find somebody. But you should be going with the rest of your team at this point. Your guys' lineup is pretty kind of garbage in a lot of ways, though, because you don't really have a conventional hard carry, which is probably a lot of the reason you guys had issues this game. You've got your Force Staff now, which is nice. You're stacking camps, which is cool, but what you should be doing probably is playing around somebody else to get kills. Sort of like Legion, but the issues are just going to out-farm you, I have a feeling, is what's going to happen. This guy's going to farm fast. This guy's going to farm fast. This guy's buying the perfect items with his Aghanim Scepter, so if you guys don't start pushing lanes really well and pressuring, like, it's going to be hard to win this game. Like, right now, Troll is the guy you guys should be ganking. Once this tower is dead, this jungle should be yours. You should have vision advantage. It should be like somebody ganks, two or three of you guys gank this guy like right now and try to kill him. But unfortunately, nobody's in position. Everybody's sitting mid. Lich is in the wrong. Lich has a Midas for some reason. That's not good. But yeah, this is the guy that should be dying right now. He shouldn't be able to come this far out from a tower and not get pressured. Underlord's in the area, but you guys should be doing with Underlord what you were doing with Legion before. You basically haven't even gotten on the bottom side of the map yet, and it seems like you're kind of scared or you don't know what to do, where to play around your allies. The reality is your core should be pushing lanes, and then you should be standing by some of them. You shouldn't be standing in circles in the mid lane like this. This is a waste of your time. Stacking or jungling these camps, this is not effective. You are not going to kill these camps faster than a troll is, or faster than than Medusa is. So that means that they are beating you. You need to pressure the map and help your team fight and set up ganks. That is how you make Dazzle effective. But you jungling here is not going to make your game much better. Also, almost all support Dazzles will go experience gain because it's going to help you level up your grave a lot faster and get to the other talents, which are all fantastic on Dazzle. So generally don't get 75 damage. I don't recommend that unless I'm playing like a 3 or a 2 or something. Maybe a 4 or 2. But is this right for Legion to jungle here? No, it's not. It's terrible. Legion is nowhere near close getting a dual kill right now because he's jungling right here. Legion should be typically pushing out. Legion should be pushing out this lane because it'd be closer to enemy jungle where he's going to get a better chance of getting a dual kill. Underlord should be top pushing typically because this is... if they were doing what I'm explaining to you, they should be playing all up here. This would be the dangerous lane to push. So Underlord would typically be the one pushing this one. And then almost everybody else on your team, like Lich, you, and Legion, would be playing down here. TA can push mid and play bottom and try to rotate over to help it when you guys get kills. But what's probably going to happen for the next 20 minutes is you guys are going to spend a lot of time jungling on your side of the map to buy items that aren't really going to increase your chances of winning by a huge amount. Underlord's going to buy some defensive items, and these guys are just simply going to outfarm you, is what I'm expecting to happen. And then in terms of fights, like, you know, everything can kind of go lots of different ways, but their team fight is really good. Between Medusa ulti, between Night Stalker and his Ags that he's about to have, between Zeus, these guys are just going to be a lot harder to kill in the late game scenarios, and you guys are just going to be scared to cross the map because you don't really know what to do. So, repeated jungling. TA is pushing top, which is really good. This is perfect, but again, she should probably have a hero or two kind of nearby. That way, if like Night Stalker comes to kill the creep wave that you guys now pushed, you can kill him. Look, Underlord's bottom, but he's by himself. So now, when Troll moves over to start doing some damage, nobody else is here, so he just feels like he has to leave right away. And in fact, he's actually just going to die, it looks like. Maybe not, with the Crimson. And TA finally shows up because some stuff's happening, which means he's actually going to die. So it ends up working out. But look at what are you guys doing in the meantime? You guys are jungling, stacking camps, basically doing nothing. You guys should have been here for this moment, to pressure out and move through their jungle. But instead, you guys don't know what to do, so you're sitting on your side of the map. So when you play a hero like Dazzle like this, it's only going to increase your chances of losing because your support's not going to work as well in the late game as so many other supports do because you don't have hard disables, you don't have super strong team fight, you have turn capabilities, you have death push, those kind of benefits. Dazzle's not a great hero for that. You have good laning, but you didn't really lane correctly. You moderately didn't lane correctly. You didn't lane very well, and as a result, you didn't super dumpster your lane. You haven't transitioned into basically playing the map. So I think that's basically, if we just fast forward basically and watch your hero position, we're going to see a lot of the same thing. You're sometimes going to cross the map because your teammates are asking you to do so, and now this is what you guys should be doing. You're jungling aggressively on the enemy side of the map. Now if you want to get a kill, it's not very far to move forward and get those kills, but it's difficult to fight unless you have the right detection, unless you have good vision. But unfortunately, that didn't secure. Your Lich has literally no items. Can't get your grave off now because you got silenced, unfortunately. This would be a good time to probably just grave TP, but... Now you guys lose the fight. This is because you didn't really de-ward or ward this area very well. Once Night Stalker presses his ultimate, it's a lot harder for you guys to have vision. You did get that kill eventually. But if you don't have good ward vision down, then it's harder to fight against Night Stalker with his vision advantage, which ultimately increases your chances of just losing the game. And then once you respawn, what do? You go push. That guy pushes top, you TP to the jungle. You guys are kind of trying to gank Medusa, but let's be real, it's unlikely to work out. Everyone's kind of running in now, but this is like a lazy fight. It's like, oh, we saw a hero, so everybody's just going to cross the map and go fight him. Who's going to win this? Who fucking knows? But it's not a good fight, or it's not a good gank. Because by the time you guys get there, they're also going to completely rotate and react. You bought an Urn next, which is fine, but not really a good item on Dazzle, because it doesn't... Lowering the cooldown of Urn is not very useful. It'd be better for somebody like Lich to buy the Urn. I'd prefer that you buy... I guess you shouldn't buy Mech, because this guy has it instead. But you could buy... Midas would be really good, because then you can get super power farmed with it. I think Midas can be good on a hero like Dazzle. You should have been buying a lot more sentries and wards, though, to control like these areas as your team pushes it out. But any item that basically has a cooldown. Force Staff is great. Medallion or Solar Crest could be good. You could buy a Ghost Scepter. You could buy a Glimmer Cape. Even something like an Aether Lens might be nice, too, because that way you can stand farther away from Night Stalker, but still Grave allies, for example, would be kind of nice. Not saying you shouldn't just get the cast range of 15, but there's other items that you should probably buy instead of something like Urn or Spirit Vessel. And now what's happening? You guys are farming on your side of the map once again. This lane should be being pushed right now. The fact that nobody of your 4 heroes walked down to push this lane is fucking insane. Look at all this gold. If you push that wave like 1 or 2 times, the creep wave's on the tower, they have to react, then you can maybe get a fight going. Instead, what's happening? Some shit's happening. You guys saw each other. Now you're just crossing the whole map to go take a fight. That might or might not go well for you. The blade mail usage. What are you doing over here? Doing some damage to this Coddle dude. Still chasing, still chasing. Kind of scared to fight, but you guys should be able to engage here. I think you're getting a little too scared here. I think you should be more willing to like force staff yourself forward and cast a poison touch or something. Now your whole team dies because you guys just took kind of a weird fight. And basically the game is just going to go back and forth like this for the rest of the game until somebody happens to win. And I would just assume that the reason you guys lose is because they have better team fight heroes and better vision, that kind of a thing. So, and more conventional cores, pretty much. Troll's eventually going to have the right items and skill build. Night Stalker is basically going to be fine from here on out. Zeus is going to be fine. He knows how to play his hero. Medusa is just going to buy about the right items. Coddle's going to play his hero correctly. And you guys are going to have like a carry Legion who can only duel 1 guy every fight. And yeah, you're going to lose. So that's why that game was probably lost. You guys basically didn't know how to pressure the map, and you didn't win the laning stage enough, and you had a worse team fight. Okay, let's hop into the next replay. Got another Dazzle game. Well, we've already covered the main reasons that Dazzle has some issue. Let's see where you go this game. It appears like you're playing a 4 Dazzle, which I like better. I'm a fan. Same items as before. I'd like you to squeeze past and go maybe put a ward down while you're waiting for the runes to spawn. I think you can also be aggressive. You and Axe. I think when you're playing 4 heroes, it's almost always valuable to move down and try to get some harass against the safe lane, because safe laners are typically not as good at fighting. I think this ward it's okay. I just would like a little bit more left, because I'd like to see if they're gonna pull the creep wave, for example. This guy should have battle hunger. You guys should poison touch line. You should do your best to kill him. He did get battle hunger, but he used it on the wrong person, unfortunately. Damn, you lost it. That's okay. That was some good damage. That was good. The invading, etc. Battle hunger? No? Dude. That was actually a lot of damage he could have used. You got your magic stick on the way, which is great. So when you're playing 4, it's a little bit different what you should be doing. This is good. This is actually super good harass. That guy is definitely gonna die. Cool. You got your guys' kill, and now creep wave is pushing, so you back up. This guy gets a quelling, which is great. You should buy either magic stick or boots. I think boots is actually okay to rush here. This is perfect. Poison touch with run at them. This guy needs a stun to any day to help. Okay, that was great. Tons of really good damage on him. You guys are playing your lane very well. Only big mistake that's being made. Ooh, this is a huge mistake by you. Major mistake is that you haven't spent your gold yet, but because you've got 500 gold, just swing over here. Put like a mango in your backpack. Buy the boots. If you have boots here, you get a couple more right clicks on the Luna, for example. All right, now the big mistake is that because you guys have been right clicking them so much in all of these trades, which is good, you've drawn a lot of creep aggro, which means that their creep wave is. Normally when you do that, you push, but in this case, they have more creeps in you. And what happened is that you stayed to go fight more, which is a really bad choice here. You're level 1, you don't have your spells, you have no creeps, and that means when you fight this lion, you're taking all this damage from creeps. Look at all this damage you're taking. You're basically being hit by like 3 heroes at the same time, is what's happening. And now you're likely to die if you can land a stun. Your friend is able to save you, but you just lost like... You basically took yourself out of the lane for the next minute by trading that. Look where your health was before you did that trade. You had about 250 health. Alright, you had 300 health here. You had 300 health, you had 4 tangos. Your health is enough where like after 30 seconds or after like a minute, you're basically full again to pound through all of your tangos. But because you stood and fought in a bad way, look how much damage was done to Lion in the meantime. He took 2 right clicks while being full and having more instant regen than you. And you took all of your HP down to nothing, which means that now you have to stay out of the lane and the fight for the next like minute and a half. for the next minute or so, because now you're worried about dying. And now you're saying, oh god, I need all this regen so I can get back in the lane. If you just hadn't lost all of your health right there and had kept eating tangos and had let the creep wave come forward, you could resume laning. But now you can't because you just threw away all of your health. You basically just did to yourself what you guys did to Luna 2 times. And because you made that mistake, you now feel like you need all this regen to stabilize. And it's nice to have regen, but you also had boots of speed. All this gold that you had and advantage, you're now throwing away again. And you're also bringing out your damn magic wand again, you bastard. Get your boots, get your magic stick, but don't buy all this stuff. And now Lion has died. And why did Lion die? Let's go watch it again. He came forward. He did the same shit you did. He wants to harass this Lion, which is fine, but look at everybody hitting him. There's a Luna hitting him. There's 6 creeps hitting him. And for what? He got to right-click a Lion 2 times. Once again, giant creep wave. And you guys are way too far forward, and now you're dead too. So this lane that you guys had completely won, more or less, by Zoni and Luna, you guys just throw away completely. Because you guys stood and tanked creep waves. If they have a creep wave that's pushing, you walk away and wait till it meets your creeps. Then maybe you can go fight them, because then their creeps might stay aggro to yours. But if you have no creeps, you stop fighting. Unless Axe has like a lot of spins, like Counter Helix, and has Berserker's Call. Because then maybe he can stand in the creep wave and get some spins. But if you don't have that yet, you guys have no business fighting. And now you've got all your items on the courier, which is fine. But again, you haven't really accelerated your hero in any way this game. All of this net worth that you have, you translate it into items that are just going to give you more health. Which is fine to have these. You do need them in your lane. But you could have had like a Boots of Speed here instead. Oh no, you didn't grab your items. Oh, thank God. You're effectively still a level 1 hero with the same items that you could have started this game with, is the problem. Axe all in tier, unfortunately. Before you had gotten back to the lane, now you're going to die again. This lane was so winnable. You guys did such a good job on the first 2 creep waves, and then you guys just get tilted and throw the whole game away. You just needed to buy time. Like, this guy's level fucking 3. This guy's almost level 3 as well. And what are you? You're level 1. Axe barely hit level 2. And you know why that is? Is because all of these big creep waves that kept stacking up, you guys are dead. And when they die, you lose all of the experience because you guys have been out of the lane too much. So nobody in your lane has been able to get this experience advantage. And now these guys, just by the nature of not making the mistake about the creep waves like you guys did, you guys throw the whole wave away, and they have all this time. Even though he's only got 70 HP, he gets as many last hits as he wants, which is not going to be many because he's a weak player. But look at all the experience these guys are getting. All because you guys traded when they had a creep wave. And now you come back to the lane, you guys run at them again, which is great, but now he's got Boots of Speed, and you don't. Ooh. Oh, you did recast it. Okay, you ended up killing him, luckily. It was really close. Alright. Luckily, because you guys fed them so much, now they have a net worth advantage. That means when you guys get kills, you're going to be able to make the wrong choice again. You need your Boots of Speed. You have a rundown advantage. But luckily, because you fed them all this advantage, now that you're getting kills, you're going to get a lot of net worth back. Finish your boots first, then finish your magic wand afterwards. Boots is more important here. You can run them down, you can chase them down, all that good stuff. Good heal first. I think I would have poison touched if I were you. I like the heal, but you didn't need to right click quite that many times, I don't think. Axe is going to die. No, he's going to live. Get these last hits. Axe is not going to get these. Look at these last hits you can get. That was 100 gold right there. You should be buying your boots right now. You should be using clarity, not your mangoes. Save your mangoes until you instantly need them generally. Buy your damn boots. Buy your damn boots. Buy your damn boots. I guess you guys can dive, though. That part is good. Let's go get the dive going. He lost his battle hunger, unfortunately. So now getting this kill is extremely unlikely. I think that harass was great. Happy with it. Axe also has 500 gold that I would love for him to spend on getting some boots. Now you're using clarity, but you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Okay, you end up getting the kill, and you saved your clarity, which is great. Buy your boots, please, God, please buy your boots. No, wrong choice. Ah, this is why this is bad. So your mana pool is going to go up. Watch how much mana you increase by buying this. So you went from about 120 to 180. You spent your first 900 gold of the game, more or less, to increase your mana by 80 points. That's what you basically did right now. If you die and come back to the lane, sure, you've got 250 more mana. But you basically gimped your hero for the next 500 gold on terms of movement speed, also you could have 80 gold. That's what you accomplished right now. Is that worth it? The answer is no. You spammed your heal again to try to keep Axe healthy. Let him eat tangos. That's the best way to get him healed. Give him one of your tangos, for example. But spending 90 of your precious mana to heal him 80 health, like, just give him a tango. A tango is way more health than that. 7 regeneration for 16 seconds. Let's do the math. That is 112 HP. That is more than what your Shadow Wave is. Why are you using Shadow Wave here? I don't blame you for using Poison Touch, but your Shadow Wave did nothing. You got no last hits with it. All you did was slightly push the wave and waste your mana. You should be getting this last hit. You should be getting this last hit. Maybe you're trying to get this last hit, but you messed it up. There's 4 creeps, and you got none of the gold. You have 0 last hits here at 5 minutes. You need to practice last hitting. This is a major thing, like a major mistake that you're making consistently. If you get all 4 of those creeps there, you've got 200 gold. That means you're almost at boots, which means you have arcane boots, which means you actually have mana. But because you missed all those creeps and the ones from before, you don't have your arcane boots finish. It means the only way that you can finish arcane boots is basically getting kills. But because you're not super... Also, if you're going to eat mango, drop your energy booster. It would give you more than 125. You'd probably get like 150 or something. And again, if you hadn't wasted your Shadow Wave a couple times, you would have more mana anyways and not feel as much need to use your mango. Should be re-hitting the Luna to reapply the heal is what you should have done. Or the Poison Sting. Poison Touch. Would have given you a better chance of getting that kill. Give the Axe a tango. Get that last hit. Don't let him deny it. That's less experience for you, less gold. You're in this position where, like, as a support, you're in the mindset where it's like, well, all I need to do is, like, I really need to get, I'm not the last hitter. I'm like a harasser, I'm a denier. But if they're not doing the responsibilities of getting those last hits, you should be the one getting these, like these ones. I think you're sitting way too far back right now. Look at your health. You have full health. You're probably not going to die. This guy has no HP. If you stand back here, Luna knows he's not threatened at all. Lion doesn't even feel threatened. You should be standing like here in the creep wave to contest these last hits. You have 2 creeps. They have 1 creep. You should be up contesting this range creep. But instead, look how far back you're sitting. Maybe this is because you don't have boots. But again, that's your fault as well. You denied this one, which is good. See, this is relatively fine. They can use some spells on you if they want to. But honestly, killing Luna is definitely a real possibility. Popping tangos, that's great. Got your magic wand. Still don't have boots yet, unfortunately. Okay, good. You end up getting all the kills. That's going to give you enough for arcane boots, thank God. Now you're going to probably spam heal to heal this guy. You guys could go back and shrine. I think that's a reasonable... The downside is that there's creeps that are dying while you guys go do this, so less gold advantage, but you should be dropping arcane boots. You absolutely should not have healed him there. He's going to get full health from the shrine. All you did was 100 damage to these neutrals, which is not that good and not worth your 100 mana, because you're not going to be full when this is over. Now you have 100 less mana, and all you did was 100 physical damage to 2 creeps, which he could do with just spinning once. Not worth your mana. Now you're going to feel the need to spend more mana, or more gold on mana items, I would guess. Don't need to use Shadow Wave to get that last hit there. Last hit with your ability. It's more gold. Or more mana saved. Good try on the heal. Very easy kill here. Again, I'm really not that sure about maxing out Poison Touch, but it is a lot more damage, I guess. The duration goes up by a second too. Oh, that's your dragon. Okay. Well, you guys can push tower probably. This is a good time to go. He should have been stunned earlier, but looks like it's going to be just fine. Okay, he'll die. Didn't need to wand there. Definitely too early. Good heal for bonus damage. Now you can chase this guy down. This guy also doesn't have boots yet for some weird reason. Good kill. Arcane boots are ready to go. Arcane boots are still ready to go. You shouldn't have ran past the tower there. I don't think you needed to do that. As a whole, your positioning is good in these fights, but this one was weird. Like, I get you were a little scared for him, but you didn't need to continue running all the way with him. I would have gone like halfway and then ran back again. Because then it put you out of position and forced you to be on the left side. Healing axe here is fine. I don't know why you're running back here. This is confusing to me. Let's go back and watch your vision. Maybe there's some vision thing. I mean, you can see that this guy is low. You've got a poison touch ready to go. If you actually... You can dive this guy right now. You guys have creeps under tower. They don't have creeps under tower. That could have been a moment to dive, probably. Axe isn't going to be able to, like, hard commit to it, but you could actually... You could play around with him for sure. Like, your HP's full. You're not exerting your hero's presence in a way when there's an opportunity. You're stronger than Line right now. He's got less HP than you. You guys have vision advantage. If he gets battle hungered and poison touch, the guy's gonna die. Because all you have to do realistically is attack him like 3 or 4 times tops. So playing around with a couple attacks but not fully committing under tower is definitely doable for you. But instead, you're always playing behind. You're always sitting too far back pretty consistently. There's definitely times to do it, but when you have 5 kills and 5 assists, you don't need to sit back that far. Drop your arcane boots when you use your damn mangoes. Buy clarities, not mangoes. You're throwing so much money away consistently. Like, you're wasting at least like 200 to 300 gold on mana regen items, in my opinion. And make sure you clarity the axe as well, or arcane him because of his battle hunger build. Getting bounties is great. You guys should be diving right now. You should be diving right now. Alright, that's fine.
Absolutely not.
Arcane's cool. Poison touch, that's an easy kill. That's a Rubik TP. You guys should not leave. You should be hitting tower right now. You should all be just wailing on tower right now. You guys killed heroes under tower. Rubik started to teleport and canceled. That means nobody's coming to this wave. As soon as Rubik cancels his TP, you guys should go into push mode. You've got a catapult. You've got creeps under tower. Drag Knight should run up here, blast this wave. You should use Shadow Wave on him and a creep to kill this creep wave as fast as possible. And then you guys should tank the tower until the next creep wave comes. The fact that you guys aren't killing this creep wave as fast as possible and auto-attacking and blasting creeps to spells is a huge mistake. This tower is literally dead right now if you do what I'm mentioning. Instead, all you're doing is you're forcing your creeps to fight their creeps for an extra minute. You're not right-clicking the tower at all. Like, it should just be crazy spam. Because the equation to getting any tower killed is you dive and kill the heroes under it, and then you push it with your creeps, killing the enemy creep waves as fast as possible. And you guys did not recognize that moment upon getting all of your kills. This tower could be at like 25% right now, and it could have been there a lot quicker. And whoever is teleported in is now sort of able to defend. They're going to run away because they realize it's too late, but this tower could have been dead even earlier than that. And that's a small moment you guys didn't take correctly. You missed the last hit. Now nobody's in the wave. Alright, this is your wave now. Get every last hit and push this wave like crazy. This should be your goal. Stand in the creep wave, heal the creeps. That's because you don't count as a heal target yourself. If you stand in the creep wave and then nuke them, you get an extra heal usually. If you're standing in that creep wave, that's 2 more last hits that you get. 1 because you got one of them, but you shouldn't be missing any last hits. And you shouldn't be backing right now. Well, okay, you can back to get a TP scroll because you don't have one, but you should be moving up to the next wave. Where is it going to be? It's going to be like right here. Oh, there it is. Look at this beautiful creep wave that is ripe for getting last hits. Nobody on your team is last hitting it. This is another 200 gold. You're TPing top because what? This guy gets a stun. Like, maybe it's worth it for you to go here, but now all of a sudden pressure on this side of the map is going to go away. The only way it increases if Axe moves down or Oracle moves down. But I don't... Like, it's kind of okay for you to teleport here, but your ability to even help is kind of low chances anyways. How did that do so little damage? I don't know. See, now you finally get to the fight. You grave this guy, but have you effectively helped at all? You haven't actually done that much at all, other than make PL slightly more comfortable coming forward. That's it. And look at all these creeps. No one is getting the last hits. No advantage there. This guy ends up dying. What? So, like, what's the point of going top? There's a fight. I gotta go. That's the wrong move if you're not going to be able to get there in time for action to actually happen. Like, if you're not going to get there in time for actually helping. It's that simple, basically. Grab the TP scroll, run back, push the wave. Once the creeps are under tower, you get vision in this area. If they try to TP here to try to help, everyone peels off the tower and kills that guy instantly. Then you can go back to pushing the tower. Or if you push the tower up and somebody comes, if you guys feel safe diving him, dive him, kill him, take the tower as well. That's what you should be doing, not like running across, TPing across the whole map just to maybe help out with a little skirmish on the top lane. It's not very worth your time. Because all you did was you poisoned, touched a guy so you did some damage to him. That's effectively all you did, and you healed your PL a little bit. But again, your Shadow Wave isn't even maxed out either. This could be 40% better if it had more skill points. Not a big fan of the 3 points in Poison Touch. This is a huge mistake by you to hit the tower like this. This is not how you should be approaching this tower. What you should be doing is moving to the side or in a position where you can swing in from behind to land a Poison Touch. Or you can move over here and put a ward on the tower. By hitting the tower, you've now revealed that you're here. By all three of you guys being in front of the tower, it means that if somebody shows themselves here, nobody's going to catch them because nobody's behind to land a disable. If you approach it this way, put a ward down, and swing around this way instead, you can Poison Touch this guy, and he's a lot easier to chase. And you reacted slowly as well. Your right click on this tower is going to do almost nothing to secure the tower dying. But what is going to kill the tower is killing whoever rotates, because if he's dead, the rest of their team is going to feel way less comfortable pushing this tower. If you secure the Rubik dying, you guys are going to feel super safe to kill the creep wave, and then when the next creep wave comes, it's just going to be you guys hitting a tower with a full creep wave and nobody responding. Hey, look. Kunkka rotates. Rubik is now here to defend. He puts a ward on the cliff. And now you guys are in this passive moment where everyone's standing around like, well, they got heroes here. Now we kind of need a gank, but like, Poison Touch wasted. What does that accomplish? Once again, stand in the creep wave to cast poison or shadow wave. Eventually they rotate because they're like, hey, there's heroes top. Let's go fight it. And now you guys run away because you're scared, understandably. In position to grave if needed. Ooh, I don't know why you're running in. That was maybe a map misclick or something. You could have graved him after the ulti. What's happened in the meantime since you teleported top? You sort of helped in fights a little bit. You didn't really get any kills because the way you approached the tower wasn't good. They all rotated top because you guys were there. You died. You could have been bottom pressuring this tower, getting creep kills. Helping to control the area of the map that actually matters. But instead, we're now back into that same state in the previous game where everything's just kind of like little shitty fights that don't really work very well. And that's all because you're not controlling the map kind of where it needs to be controlled effectively. That's basically what's happening. Now it's kind of good to go top because all of them are pushing top and it looks like they're going to end up fighting under tower. So TPing behind it and trying to help defend this looks good. But before this moment, you really didn't need to be top anytime in the last 8 minutes. Playing in this area is generally not very safe unless you can get a kill, push under this tower with vision, ideally on the cliff, and then get kills for anybody that responds. Because if you kill those heroes, then it's easy to kill the tower. That's your equation. Push creep waves, that way people respond. Dive the tower, get those kills, ideally with vision. That way you better know when it's okay to dive. And then when those kills are successful, if they're successful and you keep your heroes alive, then you just crush the tower. Rinse, repeat on the next one. Oh, you killed this tower? Okay, well, now we're going to want vision. Maybe put a ward behind the tower here. That way we can see them coming up. One person pushes this creep wave up. Everyone else sits here. And when somebody like Luna moves forward to push the creep wave or to kill it, you guys hop out. You kill Luna. Same thing. Kill the creep wave. Wail on the tower. Maybe put a ward over here. That way you can see if people come this way. Tower's dead. Do the next thing. Rotate top over here now. Put a ward here behind the tower. That way you can see when they're coming to defend the tower. One person pushes the creep wave in. Shit, somebody's TPing in. Jump in, dive, kill that guy, kill the tower. Oh, it's a good time to take Roche now because we just killed all their towers. All of our waves are pushed in. Take Roche, cool. Now Roche is dead. Now we're going to go push this tower, cool. Now we're going to go high ground because now we have a huge gold advantage. And in the meantime, keep all the creep waves pushed into here like a big line along the map. That way they don't feel safe to leave their base. They can't even go in the jungle. Now you guys get to go high ground with your gold advantage. Take a Rax, cool. Keep creep waves pushed in. Do the same thing. Push bottom now. Keep a ward on high ground. That's basically your pattern that you're not hitting. You're casting your spells. You're approximately buying the correct items. You're not being mana efficient though. But you're not dominating your waves. You're not getting any gold for yourself ever, really, which you should be occasionally when it's the right time. And because you guys aren't overwhelmingly controlling the map, you're never super stomping the game ever. Last hits are definitely really low as a whole, but that's reflects your relative MMR. And all of your guys' net worths are way too close. Look at this. Excluding like the Rubik and the Oracle, everybody's gold is within like 1,000. And this happens a lot at low MMRs. That's because players aren't quick at farming and because they're not that's most of it is they're not quick at farming. But basically also that nobody's good at farming at this MMR. Dragon Knight's doing pretty good. because he's got relatively high last hits, and he's also participated in a lot of kills and done it successfully, and he's been around tower pushes, and he's also not died. He seems to be the most competent farming player in the game. But what's not happening is that you guys aren't playing Dota well. Everyone knows how to cast their spells, but nobody knows really how to play on the map and where to go and when to commit to kills and tower pushes and dives. So what you guys at this MMR are missing is the fundamentals of pushing lanes is super important because it forces opponents' reaction. And then now that you're pushing lanes, you know when it's comfortable and when it's the right time to dive towers and commit to the towers dying. So the tower destroying aspects is something you guys are really lacking on. You don't know when to take advantage of those moments. And once you learn how to do that, it's going to be a lot easier for you to feel comfortable taking towers. And once you get good at taking towers, then you need to get good at controlling the map after the tower is gone. Once this tower is dead, where should you be playing? This jungle. Wards in the jungle, maybe here, maybe here. You want to make sure you see if they TP to Shrine, for example. You want to see if people are coming to the lane. That way you can move from jungling here as a support while your axe pushes the lane to, oh, he's coming, I'm going to go sit over here and wait till he gets to here, and then we're going to jump out and kill him. You know, that kind of a thing. That's what you should be doing. And as a 5, you need to be buying a lot more observers and sentries. That way, when you do move to control this jungle area, you can also blanket this shit in sentries to make sure that your opponents don't have observer wards. That way, when you do play in this area, they're not going to see you coming to set up a gank. And they're not going to feel comfortable entering their jungle because every time they do, you see them coming, you jump in and kill them, and then they just don't feel safe there ever, which basically makes this whole jungle yours. That's the vision and control advantage. So it's not really necessarily applicable for you not to have the sentries right now because you don't know how to control the area and you don't know that you should. But once you know that you should start buying a lot of sentries and spending your money on sentries instead of a staff of wizardry. That's like a higher level thing, like a 5k plus thing. But you should get to that position. Like, control this area. Make sure they don't have a ward on any common spots like here. Placing a sentry here is probably fine. Making sure they don't have a ward here is really good. Maybe a sentry here. And just that 225 gold for 3 sentries is going to make sure that they just don't feel comfortable going in the jungle. Period. So that's basically your problems right now. Is that your laning stage is okay, but needs a lot of improvement. That are pretty simple. Pulling, being safe on mana regen, casting your spells effectively, not tanking creeps, and then you need to transition into your mid game. You're effectively just playing laning Dota, and then there's fights here. I'm gonna go to it. That's basically your order of operations for the entire game is what's happening, and that isn't a good way to play Dota because it's always going to keep you guys close to them, keep them close, keep them close to you in net worth, and never give you guys a real stranglehold in a game. The game is basically just people throwing back and forth until there's a winner. So, okay, thanks again for signing up for replay coaching. Sorry it took so long to get this done, but I hope it was helpful. I'm sure it'll help a lot of people on YouTube as well that are at this MMR. Thanks again, and hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye.